Your first interest in audio recording. When did that start?
Well, that was an interesting voyage because playing in the band first time was actually out in Alberta. The music camp there was near Red Deer, and they had this long running arrangement with the television station in Red Deer that at the end of the music camp, all of the students went into Red Deer, and we did a television broadcast every summer. So that sort of was my first exposure. I thought this was kind of neat, And then when I came back to Toronto, of course, Earls Court Band did a lot of broadcasting in that day, so I was exposed to that. And there was a couple of guys in the band those were the days where you had the old Roland sack recorders and Ferrographs, and a couple of guys in the band had them, and they'd have them beside their seat, and every concert the band played, they were recording, and it sort of tweaked my interest. But all this time, I was going to become an architect. That was my main, and I came, and I actually started at Ryerson in architectural technology, and I went there in the first semester. I went, but I discovered the campus radio station, and I'd be on my way to a lecture, and I'd be taking these detours because it was just so interesting to look in the window of this
CJRT, right?
That's right. So after the first semester, which I was getting in trouble because I'd missed a lot of lecture time and what, I decided maybe I should have a look at my direction and change paths, So it was interesting. I mean, you wouldn't get away with it these days, but at that point, I decided, okay. And of course, the symphony was still in the back of my mind. If we're going to broadcast in Toronto, I used to listen every year the CBC broadcast of the Messiah and stuff like that, and so I'd love to do that. So.
You'd love to do? Would you like to play it?
To be involved in the broadcast.
Right. Yeah.
So basically, I picked up the phone one day and called CBC and said, basically, what would I have to do to get a job there? And the guy said, well, some electronics might be nice, sort of thing. So I went and I took a course at DeVry. DeVry had a 2-year course in electronics. And these were the days where they were just sort of discovering semiconductors and transistors, We were still taking tube technology and all that. So anyway, I took the 2-year course and passed flying colors. And then went back to CBC and presented myself again. Anyway, as it turned out, they did have an opening in television, in kinescope recording. This was pre-videotape, where you actually had a 16 millimeter camera photographing a black and white monitor, and then chemical processing of all the film and all this sort of thing. And in those, this was, 66 I started at CBC, and they had the first videotape machines were just coming online, but there was still a lot of the programs were telecine, from the film, the telecine changed that. But after a year or so, the radio building was just across the parking lot from the television building, and I kept saying, and I could see that there wasn't a big future in kinescope recording. So I made the unheard of move of applying to transfer from television to radio. Like, nobody goes that way, sort of thing. But, I guess, and I transferred over to radio, I think it was in 68. It was before I was married, yeah.
In Toronto, of course.
In Toronto, yeah. And then started down in the recording room and doing booth duty and doing all the rookie jobs,
Sure.
sort of thing.
Yeah.